If you haven't seen the movie The Matrix, I recommend it. I have seen it countless times, and I must confess that the very first time I saw it, I thought it was terrible and full of itself. I remember being utterly focused on what I didn't like about it, and I couldn't find any value in it whatsoever. Over time, I found this movie so instructional, and each time I watched it, I gleaned something new. I decided to watch the movie before writing Section 10 and found a scene appropriate to mention. In this scene, the main character, Neo, has gone to meet the Oracle to hear if he really is the one or not. And in the waiting room, he encounters other children with special gifts. And one in particular, who you see here, is able to bend spoons with her or his mind. When Neo kneels to watch more intently what the child is doing, the child looks at Neo and says the following: "Do not try and bend the spoon, that is impossible. Instead, only try to realize the truth. There is no spoon. Then you will see that it is not the spoon that bends, it is yourself." If you go onto YouTube, you can find quite a bit of information on spoon bending, actually, and watch a ton of videos. There are also videos where you can watch individuals light paper on fire with their bare hands through generating heat and energy, or create steam from wet paper towels wrapped in aluminum. In the book Holographic Universe by Michael Talbot, he cites a plethora of studies that are rather astounding. For example, there are studies done with individuals who have multiple personality disorder who, when they show different personas, actually have different illnesses once their blood is drawn. One patient in particular had a persona that had cancer, and when they switched personas and blood was drawn again, that persona didn't have a trace of cancer in their system. There are also studies done where individuals haven't eaten over long periods of time, ranging from days to decades, actually, and are incredibly healthy and functional. This practice is called breatharians. According to Jetta Mali, executive director and founder of Global Paradigm Shift in the UK, she defines breatharianism as a state of conscious acceptance that one is able to exist in one's physical body without the need for physical nutrition. She says body can run on light nutrition, the light component of nutrition. Quote, "I experimented with this for a few months, exploring what it meant for me in this body that I am inhabiting, and also what the ramifications of that might be for others." She goes on to say, quote, "My journey as a breatharian was to simply be an example for other people that it is possible. It helps people if they bust fundamental myths about using physical nutritions to stay alive. Then it helps to question other unexamined assumptions." It isn't for naught the saying mind over matter, and that is true shape-shifting. I have played with this concept for quite some time over the course of my life, and often we think of manifesting as something we do out there. We desire something, like when I moved to Marin and found a place over the water. We think of this action as an externally referenced experience. I wanted something and then it happened. We forget that what we're doing is becoming that which we desire, and we become it to our very core, down to our very essence, down to our identity. When I decided I was ready to move to Marin, I actually embodied being a resident of Marin. I fully identified with living in Marin, by being by the water, going to 24-hour fitness, buying croissants at Rustic Bakery, etc. When we manifest, we shift our identity so that we can fully become that which we desire. And I believe this is why change at an identity level is more permanent and consistent than change at a behavioral level. When I believe something so deeply, I don't have to think about being something. I am something. Shapeshifting is stepping fully into the I am of life. It is becoming one with the 0 point field. The very last scene of The Matrix, Neo is being shot by 3 antagonists. As the bullets approach him, he doesn't stop the bullets from hitting him. He becomes the bullets. In the 0 point field, we are one with everything around us. Shapeshifting is being able to place our attention at greater, broader capacities, to stretch yourself farther and allowing yourself to merge with everything around you. I often say that you must become nothing in order to become everything at every moment. Shapeshifting is embodying your creational authority. Charles F. Haanel wrote the Master Key System in 1912. It became the Silicon Valley Manifesto when Bill Gates stumbled across it, and is what the movie The Secret is based upon. What I really like about the Master Key System is how Charles talks about the need to master the world within, ourselves, in order to master the world without, the world on the outside. In section 4, he says that men and women often have a much easier time controlling kingdoms than controlling themselves. Once we understand that the world outside starts with the world inside, that is within ourselves, then anything is possible. And I particularly love this sentence that he says, I can be what I will to be. Willing to be has 2 meanings here for me. 1, that you choose to be, and 2, that you become that which you choose. 1 is about where you place your attention, your focus, and 2 is about believing. And as we know well, beliefs shape our identity. Here is the secret for me. When we're able to remember that our identity is fluid, that it can be shaped into anything at any time, we are the rulers of our kingdom and queendom. We are now in full control of ourselves, our destiny, our fate, and our future. When we are able to shapeshift our identity, absolutely anything is possible because we become our desired possibility. This is a tuk-tuk and the taxi driver that picked me up from the airport to bring me to my hotel. I remember being in Cambodia and getting really annoyed walking around because every 3 seconds a tuk-tuk driver would yell at me, tuk-tuk, tuk-tuk. I'm not exaggerating. Maybe on one block there would be 5 parked tuk-tuks, each one with the driver yelling at me to come hire them. Apparently this was such an issue that there are even t-shirts that you can buy to alleviate your frustrations. Anyway, by day 3, I was so tired of hearing this, it actually crossed my mind to not leave the hotel room. Instead, I decided to employ the concept of shapeshifting. And I moved my energy in such a way as to cloak myself from these drivers as I walked down the street and simultaneously track the data. So for the first couple of days, I would track how many times I would get yelled at without cloaking, which averaged around 11 times during a 2 to 3 block distance. Then I would apply the cloaking mechanism and tracked again, often making sure I walked the same blocks, just during different times of the day. The yells dropped down to between 2 and 4 times. Okay, I wasn't able to become completely invisible, but I was certainly doing something right. Remember, do not try and bend the spoon. That is impossible. Instead, only try to realize the truth. There is no spoon. Then you will see that it is not the spoon that bends, it is only yourself.